Hello there, and welcome to the Hungry Fox Facebook formula for fitness folks training. So, before we dive in, I just want to make it clear that there's no such thing as a magic formula. And so, there's, maybe some others out there that make this all seem like it's wizardry and magic, and they have this, magical answer that's going to solve all your problems. And I just want to break that myth and tell you that that's just not the case. There is no one universal solution that works for everyone. So you'll often hear me say things like, you're going to have to test this and find out, or here's what I normally see working, or, this is something you're going to have to experiment with, because not everything works for, everyone, right? It's almost like fitness, right? Like there are systems that the basic principles are the same, but the solution is going to be right for someone. It's going to be the best fit for them personally and what they resonate with. And anything else is not going to work. And so, if you do choose to, explore the marketing world and hire people or get coaches or buy courses or anything like that, just make sure it's a good fit for you personally and that it's something that you believe in and can resonate with. So that being said, the magic really comes from experience. And this is like fitness again as well, because, the fact of the matter is the difference between you and me right now is the fact that I've spent probably more hours figuring out sales and marketing and applying it to the fitness world than you have. Now, there may be exceptions to that, but if you're a fitness professional, a trainer, a coach, a business owner, doing something other than marketing all day, every day, then, it's really a part-time thing. And you do it in your spare time. You read and apply these things. If you've been doing your own advertising, and that's great. It's going to get you results and it's going to get you where you want to go, but it's just might take a little bit longer. Now, this is something that I do all day, every day, and I've been working with fitness businesses for years, and it's just second nature to me. And I've had enough clients to know that there's really just no guesswork anymore. And so, just like, I spend all my time doing marketing, the time that I spend working out and trying to get myself in shape is probably nowhere near the time that you spend doing that. And so where you're elite at one thing, I'm elite at another. And so really the only magic formula is work and putting in the time and getting in the reps. And so a lot of times you hire a coach to help you, or you hire someone to handle part of your life for you, so that you can get the shortcut to the results that you want. So keep that in mind as we go forward and as you start to explore the marketing world for things to apply to local fitness. So what I'd like to do for you right now is break down the method that I use to help gyms get more members and help personal trainers get more clients. And, it's really quite simple, but it's effective and it works. And I'd just like to run down for you how you could put this all together. And this is not a how-to. This is not a lot of technical information. It's really about strategy and coming up with the right method that's going to work for you. And then the actual technical aspects of it can more or less take care of themselves once you have the strategy in place. So the first thing I want to start with is the offer. And really the offer is the engine that drives everything that you do. Because without a clear, compelling offer, you're never going to get the results that you want when marketing fitness. And the reason for that is people need to be told what to do, and they need to be clear on what's going to happen when they do it. And so sometimes I'll see these generic ads that are like, call us for more info, or, come in for a free consultation or something like that. And it's just not really clear what they're going to get, what the programs are, what the personality of the gym is like. And a lot of those things just end up falling flat because there's no clear offer in place. So when you're developing an offer, this is the starting point that I like to, approach it with. So my whole philosophy is that you shouldn't decrease the price. You should increase the value of what you're offering. And so what that means is, a lot of times there'll be these like Groupon style offers, or like half off, or, come for a free month, or any of these kinds of offers where it's all about slashing price. And those can only work for so long. And they end up attracting the types of people who are looking for deals and looking for discounts, not the types of people who are looking to transform their life and really make a change for the better by getting in shape and taking care of their health and eating right. Really, you don't really want bargain hunters. You want people who are interested in making that change. And so the way you can do that is by increasing the value of what you're offering. So let's say you're doing like a 1-month boot camp is your offer. You can throw in all these extras like nutritional training or extra accountability or some kind of results tracking mechanisms or body scans or anything that you can do to add value to what you're offering. You can add a Facebook group community. You can add some swag that they get with the offer, like anything to boost up the value of what you're offering. I know there's people who do prizes. If they're doing a challenge, they'll do prizes if they meet certain goals. And those are all great ways to increase the value of what you're offering. And so instead of decreasing price, you try and give people as many tools and as many things as possible to get excited, get motivated, and get the results they're after. Because really what people are after is not this many sessions for this many dollars, or come 3 times a week for this many dollars, or the latest and greatest fitness techniques. They're not into that. What they're into is the results that they can get from changing their life. And so the more that you can offer that, the better you're going to do. And that's just a general principle. So really what it all comes down to is giving people results, not price. And so I almost never put price on my ads because price is just a number, and the number can be really high or really low depending on what you get. So let's say you're doing a boot camp for $150 and people are just scrolling through their Facebook feed, right? They're looking at pictures from their aunt, pictures of their nieces and nephews, friends posting about political stuff, whatever. They're scrolling through their Facebook feed. What is your ad going to do to grab attention? And a $150 price tag is not going to grab attention. It might grab attention in the wrong way, but not the kind that you want. Because what you're doing is just giving a price without establishing the value. And so at that point, you really have no way of overcoming the objections that come up in people's minds when you're in a sales situation. So someone's scrolling through their feed, sees the price tag, they're just going to keep on scrolling because even if they have the money, even if they can afford it, there's just no way for them to know whether what you're offering is worth $150 or not, just from one ad. That's the kind of thing that comes up in a conversation when you find out what they're after and what they really want. So I'm all about promising results, not a price. And so you don't have to make specific weight loss goals or anything like that because Facebook doesn't like that anyway. But you just want to tell people that, this is the thing that's going to kickstart your life transformation and get them the results that they want. So how do you do that? Well, when you put together a compelling fitness offer, there's really a few different aspects that go into it. So first one is the fitness, and this is really what most gyms get right. And this is the part where about the programming and the workouts, and you'll come this many times a week to be effective, and whatever sort of workouts you're doing, whether it's HIIT or CrossFit or any kind of circuit training or whatever, right? Whatever you're doing, this is an important part, and you need to let people know what you're offering and what the benefits of it are. The second part is the nutrition, and I think a lot of gyms offer things like this, but they don't play it up. It's often treated as an afterthought or an add-on as opposed to a main part of their core offering. And I think this is a big misstep because you and I both know that you can work out all day long, but if you're not eating right, you're never going to get the results you're after. Weight loss is all about nutrition, right? And let's face it, most people are looking to lose a few pounds. And so playing up that nutritional aspect is a huge part of your marketing and your offer. And a lot of gyms leave that out, and they really shouldn't. The third thing is some kind of accountability or results tracking or community around your facility. And what that can be is like, it could be a Facebook group for members where people keep each other motivated, share recipes, get them thinking about the gym even when they're not at the gym. And the other thing is it can be the coach texting people and following up if they miss a class, or weekly sort of motivational things that they text out to everyone, or emails outlining some recipes for the week that they might find good. Something that's just going to keep people engaged and held accountable for the results that they're going to get. And the community is just the culture of your gym, and people need to know that this is a non-intimidating atmosphere that people can come into, even if you're a beginner, and you're still going to find people welcoming to you and not intimidating you because they have been there longer and know so much more than you. So if you can nail those three things, the fitness, the nutrition, the accountability / community, maybe that's a fourth one. I kind of lump them together. But if you can get those things into your offer, you're going to do a lot better than the, try us for 2 weeks for $29. There is a place for those types of offers, but I won't get into that now. But as a baseline, just this type of offer is going to get you pretty far. So what that can look like is, sometime kind of time frame where people can get some real results. So usually that's like a 30-day thing, a 28-day thing, a 4-week thing, which is all kind of in the same time frame there. There's a lot of 6-week things going around. Those are all really good because it gives time to give people real results and also get them in the habit of working with you. And if you are providing the experience for your members that is so good that they don't want to leave, then of course it's a no-brainer for them to stay on as a long-term member. And it's just a little bit harder to do that with like a free week or something like that. So keep that in mind when you're coming up with your offer. The next part is the follow-up and sales. And the reason I put this second, you might think that this would come last, right? After people have responded to your ad and, converted into a lead, you would want to follow up and sell with them. But I'm putting that right after the offer because I'm doing this kind of in order of importance here. So the offer is the most important thing you can get right. The follow-up and sales is, I would say, equally as important because, I could bring you leads all day long, but if you can't make the most of those and sell them, then there's really no point. And you need to have those sales and follow-up mechanisms in place in order to turn these people into buying customers. Because that's really what it's all about, is getting that ROI, and you need to have the follow-up and sales right first. So the first thing you need to know is that the speed is everything. You need to be following up with people as quickly as possible. And so, there's been studies done on this, on online leads and online sales and things like that. And every wasted minute dramatically decreases your chance of getting results. Even the difference between 5 minutes and 10 minutes can be the difference between a lead being red hot and ice cold. So you really want to make sure that you're following up with people as quickly as possible. There's no next day. There's no calling them a couple days later. It's too late. You need to be quick. The other thing is you also need to be conversational. I find that so many gym owners, they just want to jump right into the sale and say, like, this is what you get, this is how much it costs, like, let's get you started, let's do it. And that's great, and it can work if you're a sales master, but if not, you just want to have real human conversations with people. And that just means like through text message or by talking on the phone, just have a casual conversation with them where you're saying, why are you interested in this offer? And, just talk it out with them. What are their goals? What are they after? Okay, great. I'd love for you to come in and just see what we're all about. And, we have a few different membership options, and I'd love to see which one is right for you. And it's just really as simple as having a real human interaction with them. And people can detect an automatic response a mile off. So if you're doing too much automation, then you're removing the human element from it. People don't feel like you are personally invested in them or that you care about them. So copying and pasting some responses with a bunch of links to sign up to come in and all that kind of stuff, payment links, things like that. People can smell it, and it just it leaves a bad aroma in the air for them. So keep that in mind that you want to be conversational. The next thing is, unless you're really good at sales and you can sell on the phone or sell through text message quite easily, my recommendation is to always try and get people in the door, at least to start. And the reason for that is because most of the time when I talk to gym owners, they're telling me that they have this amazing culture at their gym. I just need to get people in the door. If I could just get people in the door and experience it, then I know I can get them to stay. So that's really what this is all about, is getting them physically in the door so that you can work your magic. And an in-person conversation is the best way to convert. And the further away you get from that, the harder it is. So unless you're a sales master, try and get them in the door. And then, I would always try and get them in the door the same day or the next day if possible. Now, it's not always possible. I totally get it. But if you can get people in really quick, then you reduce your chance of no-shows, because it's like there's less chance of life getting in the way, and it gets people really excited about it immediately, and you're still kind of close to that moment of desire when they filled out that form saying they're interested in your program. And the other thing I would say is you don't want to give in to pressure from people too much, because when you're in a sales conversation, whether it's through email or text message or on the phone, sometimes people like to control the conversation, and they might pressure you to just give them the price right off the bat, or they just like want to know certain information right off the bat. And you know what? It's great to be honest, and it's great to be upfront with people, but sometimes when it comes to price and things like that, you just want to know that they're serious about getting results first, and they're not just some bargain hunter going around, and you don't want to waste too much time with these people. So you got to know what they're there for and what they're interested in before you give them the price, because you haven't established the value yet. So I know people who can sell 6-week challenges for $500, and they do it all day long. And the reason they do it is because they are able to establish the value of it first. And so I would really definitely not recommend leading off with price. So when it comes to the actual follow-up system, here's what's working well for my clients, and this is what I recommend to all of my clients to increase their level of conversions. So you always want to do an automatic text right away. So when someone fills out your form, it sends them a text message immediately to start that conversation, so that even if you can't call them right away, they're at least getting some touch point from you. Then you also want an automatic email going out. So this is for people who don't want to text, or they're just not available to text right now. They get that email reminding them, and this is where you have a chance to be a little bit more salesy. You can direct people to a link to schedule a time to come in, all that kind of stuff, because people sort of expect that from emails. They don't really expect that from text messages. And then you want to give them a phone call 3 times the first day if possible. This is really, really important, because you want to be calling, if possible, within minutes of them filling out your form. And if not, then you call them 2 more times that day, because they may be filling out the form when they're at work and they can't talk, or they might be putting their kids to sleep and they can't talk, or whatever, right? So you want to spread it out 3 times the first day so that you have a chance of getting them. I don't usually recommend leaving voicemails, because then it's easier to ignore you the next time, because they know who's calling and they just don't want to deal with you if they're busy or something like that. So if you leave them a voicemail, I would not expect a call back, but I'd love to be proven wrong on that. And then after that, you want to text and call and email every day after that. So your emails, if you have an email list that you can drop people into, like autoresponder or an email platform, you definitely want to drop them in there. Keep giving them content for the next few days, and then after that, put them into a regular newsletter every couple weeks or so after that, so that you might be able to recapture some of those old leads. And then you also want to be trying to text and call every day for the next week or so, just to make sure people are still interested. Hey, we want to get you into this program. When's a good time to talk? And really hammer it the first little bit. So that's the basic gist of how to follow up with people to get them in the door. Then we come to the ads, and the ad, you would think is one of the most important parts, because gym owners are always talking to me about how they just want a good ad, they want to write better ads, they need to have someone generating all these leads with these ads, and that's all great, and that's fine. That's a really important part of the business. But if you don't have the offer in place and you don't have the follow-up and sales in place, you're never going to make an ROI on your marketing. So that's why the ads are maybe even less important than those things, because you can still have an okay ad and get good results if you have the offer and the follow-up right. So when you're creating an ad, you want to call out your location if you're local. So this is really important, because people are used to seeing big brand national ads all day long. And so if they have a local ad calling out their location, it immediately grabs more attention, because they know this is more specifically for them and their area. And the more specific you can be about your local area, the better. Even if it's down to a neighborhood that you're targeting, it grabs attention. Then you want to clearly state what your program is, and the basic overview of what you're offering. And this is really important, because people don't sign up if they don't know what they're getting and they don't know what's going to happen next. So you want to really clearly state what this is all about. Then you want to list what they get and the benefits. And so if you've read any marketing books, they always talk about really hammer the benefits, not the features. But when it comes to fitness, you definitely want to have the features because people want to know what they're getting with this. How many workouts a week is it? What are the workouts like? What are the workouts going to do for you? What's the nutrition coaching like? How is that going to help? All these things are super important, and you want to really just like nail these bullets very, very clearly and very concisely in a way that's clear on what they get and how it's going to benefit them. Then I basically just wrap up with a clear call to action. Like, hey, we love to help people in this city, and we do it all day long, and we'd love to do it for you too. Tap now to apply. And that's another little tip if you're doing mobile ads, which I almost always recommend. You always want to use the word tap as opposed to click. And this is a little tip I picked up from some of my mentors that when you're on mobile, just the word tap, it just resonates a little better as opposed to click, because you don't click on your phone, right? So you always want to wrap up with a clear call to action. So tap to apply now and see if this is the right fit for you. And then you take them to your form. And just as a rule of thumb, you always want to target men and women separately. So there's a couple reasons for this. One is the messaging. So the messaging that appeals to men is definitely not the same messaging that appeals to women. If you combine them into one ad, it usually doesn't work. There are unisex ads that work, but even if they do, you still want to target men and women separately in different ad sets, because one is always going to outperform the other. And if you're on a limited budget and you only want to pick the one that's working the best, you want to be able to separate them so you can just turn off the one that's not working and keep running the one that is working. So it's really good to have that data on, whether you're targeting men or women, so that you can optimize properly for that. So I hope that makes sense. There's really not that much to it when it comes to like images and stuff like that. Like in groups of women or men or members just really having fun, group photos of them like hugging and having a great time, like not these like deadlift faces that I sometimes see where people are like, oh, this is so hard. You definitely don't want that, because it just looks too hard. I mean, even if your workouts are hard, people don't want to see that in an ad, right? They want to feel like this is a community fun atmosphere. If you can't get images like that, sometimes stock images like that will work if it's not a real image from your gym, but you definitely want to have happy, fun people in it. So that's kind of my rule of thumb on that. You can also experiment with videos of you, videos of your members, a slideshow of different photos with some captions like about some of the bullet points of what they get. This is all stuff you need to experiment with. And, there's no one rule that works, but these are all things that can work if you do them properly. So I hope that helps when it comes to the ads. And then the last thing is the conversion mechanism. This is actually, it is important, but it's in some ways one of the least important things, because if you have your offer right, and if it's clear, and if you have your ads written in a compelling way, then the conversion mechanism, and that would be like a landing page or a lead form ad. This is like a form right inside of Facebook, which is really handy for local ads, or a messenger ad where they get taken through, like, let's say a messenger bot, like an automation kind of thing where they get to self-select what they're signing up for. No matter what you're doing, if you have those other things right, then this is just the very last step towards them converting. And so I heard a really smart marketer compare this to, like, let's say it's like an ad in a newspaper directing you to a seminar. So it's like, here's the seminar we're having. Come to this building. It's in this room. Here's what it's all about. It's from this time to this time. And then, here's all the benefits you get. Here's what you're going to learn. And here's what you're going to accomplish by the end of the day. Blah, 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 whatever, right? So let's say you show up at the building where it's happening, right? And so you get directed to the doorway where the seminar is taking place. And then on that door is a big sign. And you have to physically move this sign out of the way to get into the room. And there it says all the benefits, all the things you're going to learn, and it's like reselling you on everything. You don't necessarily need to do that, right? You've already shown up. You've already expressed that you're interested by, showing up, and you've already read the ad in the paper, and you know what it's all about. Then all you have to do is walk through the doorway. You don't need to be resold. And so I kind of cut against the grain a little bit that way. And There is a place for some of those like longer, more elaborate landing pages with tons of like testimonials and before and afters and countdown timers and scarcity and benefits and discounts and like loading up these big fancy landing pages. Oftentimes I'll just keep it really simple, or I'll send them to a very simple lead form, or a very simple messenger ad where they just like get to respond and say, hey, I'm interested in this, tell me more. And so I find that that works really well because you don't need to always resell people. You just got to find out if they're interested and give them an easy way to seal that deal. So I hope that helps when it comes to the actual conversion mechanism. I think a lot of people tend to overthink it, and it really doesn't have to be that complicated. It just needs to be a simple form where they fill out some basic information about themselves so that you can really hit this follow-up in sales quickly. So that is the Hungry Fox Facebook formula for fitness folks training. And I just really wanted this to be an overview of how I do things and how I think you could apply it to your business. And I know that if you do it and if you follow what I've outlined here, it's stupid simple, and it might even be things that you already know. But there is no magic bullet. This is just something that I've developed over time and studied the principles of marketing and applied it to local fitness. And so I really hope this will work for you too. And I'm really curious to know your thoughts. And of course, if you want some help implementing this in your own business, reach out to me. I have some openings, or I can put you on a wait list if I'm all full up. And we can have a conversation about having this work for your business. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks. Bye.